It's the first weekend of December. Let's see how your forecast is shaping up, why don't we? Now, cold air has been really punctuating the first few days of December, and that looks to continue, especially for the prairies, a good portion of Ontario. A late weekend into early work week, that cold migrating further east, and that will have quite the impact on our temperatures. And then late week, things will kind of shift back west, it looks like, with the coldest air. So why don't we start out in the west? Now, atmospheric river event will be most intense south of the border for Washington state. As you can see, though, lots of rainfall will still be delivered to the south coast of BC. Fairly active couple of days. We see a little pause in the action this evening after a Saturday that's mostly filled with active weather. Then another round, and then a pause in the action late Sunday into yet another round of heavy precipitation, and it looks like maybe the heavier will be on the tail end of these systems. Now, with all that rainfall at lower elevations, ample amounts of snowfall at higher elevations, and that could make for some difficult travel on highway passes. So as you can see, a lot of moisture on the way with this system, and the wind, another factor. Take a look at some of these gusty conditions over the next few days, just continuing to intensify as we head into the start of the work week. You see some triple-digit wind gusts in the forecast there. Some double-digit daytime highs across southern parts of BC today, and yes, an active pattern, and as evidenced by the 7-day forecast for Vancouver here. Okay, head to northern Canada now. Some of that moisture battering the coast will make its way into areas like Yukon and parts of the Northwest Territories, but just seeing some modest snowfall forecast there for the weekend. But temperature-wise, you can see some very frigid conditions and pretty stable temperature pattern. Using Yellowknife's 7-day forecast to illustrate the very low degree of fluctuation in our daytime highs. Now, things have gotten cold in Alberta. The prairies have been experiencing some very chilly weather, but mostly for Manitoba and Saskatchewan this week. But as you can see, for our Saturday, some very cold daytime highs and wind chill values, but really good improvement into Sunday for Alberta. You can see Lethbridge back to an above freezing daytime high for our Sunday, while Saskatchewan and Manitoba do hang on to the chilly weather. Snowfall across the prairie region over the next few days. It'll be a couple different events following a similar track. So for this evening into our Sunday morning, you get a sense of that initial wave of snowfall, and then a late weekend into the start of the work week, yet another pocket of snow, which again, follows that kind of Yellowhead highway track. So the 7-day forecast for Edmonton showing, the cold weather, well, it's now arrived, and especially late week, a high of -24 for Edmonton on Thursday, feeling like -33. Now for Ontario, feeling that cold in northern areas, and we also have a couple different snowfall events that we're tracking. Now, windy conditions will help kind of amplify that wind chill and also a bit of lake effect activity. So that will be something we watch out for. Here's a look at areas with higher snowfall amounts forecast with those lake effect bands that setting up for this weekend, and that will be impacting many in Ontario and Quebec to start off our Saturday, and then just really continuing throughout the weekend. You see things kind of dying down a bit for many, but by Sunday morning, another wave of that snowfall comes into the mix, and that could make for some difficult travel, again, with those breezy conditions, reduced visibility on top of the slick roads. Temperature-wise, look at Monday. We have quite a cool down in southern parts of Ontario, and then by Tuesday, you can see for Ottawa, Toronto, Sudbury, snowfall is forecast, while Thunder Bay gets the cold temperatures and snowfall a day ahead of schedule compared to southern areas. Now we've got that scattered flurry activity for Quebec on our Saturday. Things kind of clearing out for our Sunday by the looks of it, but chilly temperatures do continue, and much like we saw for Ontario, the early part of the work week looks to be highlighted by some very cold conditions. In Quebec City, it'll be a couple days in a row of some very cold daytime highs. But finishing off in Atlantic Canada, we've got that cold in parts of New Brunswick. It's been a very active couple of days, but as you can see, we're kind of toning things down in that regard. We do have some pockets of snowfall in the Maritimes for our Saturday, but we'll look ahead to our Sunday, where the wind direction and those sea effect snow bands setting up for parts of western Newfoundland and Cape Breton that could be making for a bit more of an impactful Sunday. Windy conditions are expected for St. John's, gradually coming down throughout the day, but starting off with those windy conditions and then, yes, getting a bit more moderate. And we'll take a look at our temperatures to finish things off here and a cold Monday on tap for the Maritimes.